Hey yogis, welcome to this hatha style yoga class that has just a little bit of flow. It's going to focus on the connection between the core and the hips and how the engagement of the core affects the body as a whole. For this practice, it would be ideal if you have a block and a blanket or a pillow. Remember as you practice that it's not about what the poses look like on the outside, but how they feel in your body on the inside. So this is going to be a very internal seeking practice, almost more so than a standard or traditional hatha style yoga practice. So with all that in mind, roll out your mat, find your comfortable seat, and let's get started. We will begin our practice on our backs. So come to the front of your mat, bringing your feet hip distance apart, rolling down onto the spine. Allow the back body to settle on the earth. Feeling all that your body experiences. Allow the hips to sink into the mat and reach through the crown of the head slightly, finding length in the spine. Roll the shoulder blades underneath, allowing the fronts of the shoulders to relax down towards the mat. Scan your body for any tension, either physical, mental, or emotional, and release it into the ground, fully showing up in your practice today. Next, we will bring our attention to the breath. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your stomach. Feeling the natural rise and fall of your breath as you inhale and exhale through the nose. Feel the breath come in through the throat, through the chest, and into the low belly. Exhale, belly releasing, chest relaxing, breath leaving the nose. Continuing with these inhales and exhales. Allowing you to be a vehicle for the breath. Throughout this practice, we will focus on strengthening our core and opening our hips. But it's important to note that these are not two separate areas of the body. The hips and core are very closely related as they form a chain of support through the lower body that allows the upper body to stack on top of it. The hips provide the base which our legs move from, and the core supports our hips, our internal organs, and gives us a firm grasp from which to move out into the world with our hands and with our minds. So throughout this practice today, we will notice the interconnectedness of the hips and the core, and how that leads to the interconnectedness of our body as a whole, us with our surroundings, and us with our world. So come to one more deep inhale and one more deep exhale. On your next inhale, pull the belly button towards the spine, contracting the lower abdominals, and exhale, releasing. Inhale, continue to pull the belly button towards the spine, but now also see how the sides of the body come and draw towards the spine as well. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, now bringing the pelvic floor into the mix too. Contracting that towards the low belly. And exhale, releasing all three. Inhale, drawing the pelvic floor, the front belly, the sides, and now the back body as well. All hugging in towards the spine, providing that support. And exhale, releasing. Continuing to make these motions on your own, noticing how the rest of the body reacts as you engage. Inhale, engaging. Exhale, releasing. One more. Inhale, engage. Exhale, release. We will bring this engagement into many of the poses throughout the rest of the practice, as this is the foundation of how the body supports itself through these engagement of these deep muscles. Beginning to bring some movement into the spine. Make sure that the feet are underneath the knees. Hands come down to the sides, coming into a rolling bridge. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips off the ground, engaging through the core. Exhale, lower the hips back down. Inhale, hips rise. Exhale, hips fall. Inhale, hips rise. Exhale, slowly and controlled, bring the hips back down to the ground. Now bringing the arms into the mix also, if your low back feels comfortable. Inhale, hips rise, arms float overhead. Exhale, arms down, hips down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Hug the knees into the chest, rocking slowly side to side, massaging the low back, releasing the core, and allowing your internal organs to get a light massage, allowing them to return to their natural place. When you're ready, we're going to come up to a hands and knees tabletop position. So roll up on the spine or come to your side. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Refine that engagement through the core. Zip your pelvic floor up like you're zipping up your pants. Draw your low belly muscles in, your side muscles in, your low back engages. On your next exhale, tuck the hips, round the back, gaze comes down. Inhale, hips come up, belly releases, heart comes through, gaze comes up. Exhale, hips tuck, gaze comes down. Inhale, hips roll up, gaze comes up. Doing 3 more rounds of cat and dog tilts on your own. Throughout our class today, we're going to be working in sets of 5. So coming through one more round, pressing into the shoulders on your cat tilt, allowing the chest to spiral open and through on your dog. When you're ready, come to a neutral spine. Extend your left leg behind you, pressing through the heel. Finding the length in the back of the left leg while keeping that engagement in the core. Pressing down through your hands, engaging through your arms. Lift the left toes up off the ground. Exhale, bend your knee, round your back, tuck your chin, bringing your knee to your forehead. Inhale, coming into a neutral spine, extending your left leg. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck. Making sure your right hip stays on top of your right knee. Exhale, extend. Inhale, tuck. Engaging through that core. Exhale, extend. Inhale. On your next exhale, bring your left toes to the ground. Spin the sole of your left foot down. Begin to stack your hips one on top of the other. Sweep your left hand up towards the sky, coming into side plank. Allowing that right foot to come out behind you if you need additional balancing support. Pressing through your left and your right hand equally, opening through the chest. Using your internal side body core to lift you up, not hanging into that right hand. Two more breaths. On your next exhale, bring your left hand back down to the ground. Spin up onto the ball mount of your left foot. Bring your right foot back to meet the left, coming into plank for a brief moment before bending the knees, pressing the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And breathe. Press into the hands, find the length in the spine. On your next exhale, bring your knees back down to the mat. Untuck your toes, bring your big toes to touch. Seat to the heel in child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath, finding the ground beneath you. At any time throughout your practice, if you would like to rest or reconnect with your breath, you can always come to child's pose. When you're ready, inhale back up to hands and knees, allowing the feet to come back out hip distance apart. Re-engage through the core, pressing into the hands, feeling the ground beneath your knees. Inhale, extend your right foot behind you, pressing out through the heel, finding that length from the crown of the head to the heel. Inhale, engage through the core, lift the right foot off the ground so it's parallel with the right hip. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest, forehead towards the chest, pressing through the core, rounding through the back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, chin to chest, knee to forehead. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Keeping the left hip over the left knee, not letting it splay out to the side. Exhale, extend. Inhale. Whoop. I messed up. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Staying here for one more breath, finding that engagement through the core, evenness through the hands and the left knee, extension from the crown of the head out towards the right foot. Exhale, bring the ball of the right foot to the ground, spin onto the outside edge of the right foot, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders, sweeping the right arm up towards the sky, side plank prep. And breathe. Notice how your breath changes as the internal engagement of your core changes. Does the breath become deep or shallow? Encourage the core to be engaged as you stay and maintain with your deep breath. On your next exhale, windmill the right hand to the ground, spin up onto the toes of the right foot, bring the left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the seat up and back, pressing into the hands, downward facing dog. And breathe. 3 breaths here. When you're ready, walk the feet up to meet the hands, coming into a standing forward bend. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out, pressing into the feet. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Next, we're going to come into a series based off the foundation of Warrior 1, flowing into Warrior 3. Bring your hands to the hips. Step your left foot back about 2.5 feet. Root into the outside edge of your left foot, making sure that your toes are at a 45-degree angle towards the front of the room. Bend into your right knee, bringing that knee towards the baby toe side of the foot. Engage through the core, root into that back leg, keeping the knee straight. Bring your left hand forward, steering your left hip forward and your right hip back, but not compromising the back knee. On an inhale, sweep both hands up to the sky. And breathe. Warrior 1. bring your hands to your hips, or if you would like, you can bring your hands behind you into Yoga Mudra, pressing the palms together, keeping the elbows bent if that's best for your shoulders, or straightening the arms. On an exhale, engaging through the core, especially from the pelvic floor. Hinging at the hips, leading with the heart center. Bringing the heart center down so it's in a long line from the back leg. Gazing forward like you're peering over the edge of a cliff. And breathe. Notice where there's unnecessary tension in the body and release that. Also notice which other muscles have needed to engage in order to support this movement in the core. Be thankful for that engagement and that support and how the whole body is interconnected to work together to help you move and breathe and grow. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky, levering the torso back upward. From here, bring your hands back down to your hips if they aren't already there. Straighten through the front leg a little bit so there's a slight bend. We're going to come into Warrior 3. Spinning off the back of the left foot, walking the left toes up, shifting your weight into your right foot, engaging through the core, levering your torso forward, bringing your left toes up off the ground. If you want, you can bring your arms out to the side in a T or overhead in front of you. And breathe. On your next exhale, slowly bring the left foot back towards the ground. Setting back up into Warrior 1 legs. Bring your hands in front of you in prayer. Exhale, twisting to the right, bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Pressing into the outside edge of the left foot. Pressing into the outside of the left arm, levering the torso upward. And open. On your next inhale, come out of the twist. Sweep the arms up towards the sky, coming into a slight back bend, looking up. Exhale, bring the hands back down on either side of the right foot. Coming back into downward facing dog. Both feet at the back of the mat. And breathing. Pausing here for 3 breaths. Or if you'd like, you can come to child's pose. If you're in child's pose, come up to downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands, coming into standing forward bend. Sweeping the arms up and out, finding length through the side body. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Coming into the second side. Inhale, transfer your weight onto your left foot. Exhale, step your right foot back behind you, coming in to Warrior 1. Once again, left knee over the left ankle, right toes pointed at a 45-degree angle towards the front of the room. Sinking into the hips, pressing into the outside edge of the right foot. Inhale, bring your right hand out in front of you like you're shaking someone's hand, drawing the right foot hip forward and the left hip back. Inhale, sweeping both arms overhead. Engaging through the core, helping you to square the hips. And breathe. Noticing how the upper back muscles now work into the core equation as the arms are lifted overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, rooting down through the outside edge of the right foot, keeping the left knee guided towards the outside of the left foot. Exhale, engage through the core, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Making a long line of energy from the outside of your back foot towards the top of your head. If you want, you can come into the second side of Yoga Mudra, interlocking your fingers with the opposite thumb on top, keeping the elbows bent and the hands in towards the low back, or straightening the arms. And breathe. Inhale, levering up the torso, coming into a slight back bend, releasing the arms back down to the hips, spinning onto the ball mount of the right foot, straightening through the left leg so that there's a slight bend in the left knee, coming into Warrior 3, walking the right toes up towards the left as you transfer your weight onto the left foot. Extend your right leg behind you, levering your torso forward. Focus on keeping the right toes pointed down towards the ground, engaging through the core. If you want, you can reach the hands out to the sides or overhead. 3 more breaths. Long and strong. 1 more. Exhale, slowly lower the right toes down to the ground. Bending into the left knee, spinning the sole of the right foot down towards the ground. Bringing your hands to prayer. Reestablishing the legs before we move. Inhale, engage the core. Exhale, twisting over to the left side. Bring the right elbow to the outside of the left side, opening into a twist. Pressing into the palms to further open the chest. Exhaling, unraveling the twist. Coming up into Warrior 1 one more time. Slight back bend. Exhale, bring the hands down onto either side of the front foot. Bring the left foot back to meet the right. Knees to the ground. Big toes to touch. Seat to the heels in child's pose. Many times in our culture, we think of the core as being very strong because of its rigidity, like having six-pack abs. But the core is really strong not for its rigidity, but for its ability to interact with all the different muscle groups surrounding it. So as the glutes and the legs feed into the core is able to adapt. And as the upper back and arms feed into the core is able to support that movement also. So by strengthening our core, we give it the tools to adapt to these movements from the other extremities, highlighting the interconnectedness of our body. On your next inhale, come up to hands and knees, tuck the toes, and bring the hips back into downward facing dog. We're going to come through a flowing plank down dog sequence 5 times. So on an inhale, float the hips forward to plank, shoulders stack over wrists. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Feel the core adapting as we move. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Last one. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. You can stay in down dog as we rest, or you can come to child's pose. For 3 breaths, either way. If you're in child's pose, coming back onto hands and knees, adding on to that sequence. Tuck the toes, come back into down dog if you're not there already, bending through the knees. Inhale, send the left foot up, keeping the hips square to the ground, toes facing down. Exhale, coming into a plank variation, bringing the knee to the forehead, rounding through the back. Exhale, leg up, hips back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, chin to chest, knee, forehead to knee. Now inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, chin to chest plank. Exhale, extend. Inhale, contract. One more. Exhale, pressing back through the left heel, pressing into the hands. Exhale, knee to the chest, coming into plank. Inhale, down, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring the left foot to the ground. Coming back into downward facing dog for 3 breaths, or resting in child's pose. If you're in child's pose, bringing the hands down to either side of the legs, resting and shaking out through the arms. If you're in child's pose, coming back into down dog. Reestablishing your long spine, pressing into the hands, sending the hips up and back. Coming into the second side of our 3-legged dog flow. Inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the sky, squaring the hips towards the ground. Exhale, bring the knee, bending the knee, bring the knee to the chest, flowing into plank. Exhale, extend. Inhale, pressing into plank, rounding through the low back, engaging through the core. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, extend. Press into the hands, reach back through the back foot. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring the right foot to the ground. Press out through downward dog for 1 breath. Exhale, everyone bring their knees to the floor, big toes to touch, child's pose. settle back down into the ground. Noticing how the core adapted as we move through many different areas of the hips in those plank down dog flows. On your next inhale, walk the hands back up, coming into a seated position on your heels, sweeping the legs out around in front of you, coming to sit, grabbing a blanket if you like using those for forward folds. Positioning the blanket behind you and coming to sit on the edge of the blanket, allowing your sit bones to roll off the front. Extend your right leg out in front of you. Cross your left leg over so your foot comes to the outside edge of your right hip into a half cow face pose. Flex through your right foot. If this is enough stretch for you in the back of the right leg or in the left hip, stay here, staying long through the spine, reaching up through the crown of the head and flexing the foot. Or if you would like, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, rounding the spine, which is different than our usual forward folds. Allowing the back body to relax, allowing the core and the hips to release. We're going to stay here for about 10 breaths. Release the head. Release the left knee. Notice what area of the hips and core are still supporting you and which areas can relax and release. Relax the face and jaw, the eyes, the temples. On your next inhale, walk yourself up so your torso is upright. Bend the right knee, bringing the right foot on the outside of the left hip just for a second. Feeling this cow face pose, even through both hips. To transition to the second side, bring your feet to the mat, keeping your knees stacked as they are. Walk your hands out in front of you, coming around in the circle, clockwise. Coming back to sit on the edge of your blanket. Now the opposite knee is on top. Extend the left foot in front of you, flexing through the left toes, feeling the right foot on the outside of the left hip. If you have some space there, that's fine. Reaching through the crown of the head, rooting down through the hips. You could stay here if this feels good for you, or inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips initially, and then once you're in the forward fold that meets you, allowing your back and chest and head to release. Continuing to flex through the left toes to deepen the stretch. Relax through the arms and the shoulders and the head. And notice how that relaxation affects the rest of the body. For instance, relaxing the neck can deepen the stretch in the back of the left thigh. And breathe. Release any tension in the face. Release the right knee. When you're ready, press into the hands. Walk the torso up. Bend the left knee, bringing the left ankle onto the left heel onto the outside of the right hip. Feeling this cow face pose. Noticing how this is different from the second side. When you're ready, lever the hips, walk the hands forward, lever the hips up. Uncrossing the legs. That one's most awkward transition ever to do in a video. Okay. When you're ready, bring the hands slightly behind you. Walk the feet out in front of you. Bouncing the knees up and down, shaking out through the hips. Windshield wipering the feet side to side. We're going to come down to lay on our backs next with a block. So move your blanket out of the way. Grab your block, come to the top of your mat, and roll down on your spine. Allow the sacrum and the low back and the hips to settle into the mat. If you want, you can hug your knees into your chest, making any little movements from side to side that feel good to you. Or you can walk your feet to the outside edges of the mat and allow the knees to come together in the center. The first option stretches more of the back of the legs, and the second option releases more through the low back. So find an option that serves you, and breathe. This principle of interconnectedness is not limited to just within our bodies. Every human being is connected to every other being on this planet. Whether through the air we breathe, the words we say, the intentions we hold towards them, or our actions. Notice how your actions affect others and how others' actions affect you in good, bad, or neutral ways. Not judging, but just noticing and appreciating that this is how the world was formed and designed. If your knees are at center, bring them back in line with the hips. Bring the feet down to the ground. Find your block. Bring Bring your feet in line with your hips and your knees over your feet. Press into your feet, lift the hips, sliding the block underneath your hips, coming into a supported bridge pose. Move the block around so you find that sweet spot on your sacrum that feels good and is not cutting into your low back. Reconnect with your breath here. Feel the inhales come deep into the belly, expanding. And feel the exhales releasing out. Releasing any tension or holding in the body. On your next inhale, you may have to adjust your block. Lift your feet towards the sky, bringing the edge of your sacrum and your hips to the block, finding a comfortable place. First, extending the ball mounts of your feet up towards the sky, stretching through the back of the legs. Making any pointing or flexing motions through the feet that feel good for you. Stretching and releasing through the ankles. Bring your feet to stillness. Inhale, extend through the ball mounts. Exhale, open the legs so they come into a wide position. Not allowing the legs to flap open to the sides, but keeping them strong. Exhale, bringing the legs back up to center. One more time. Inhale, wide. Staying here for a couple breaths. Exhale, center. Now release the engagement through the legs. Feel the bone structure stack on top of each other. Feel the blood and the lymph and everything that is not serving you be refreshed and renewed and drained. Inhale, re-engage through the legs, bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet back down to the ground, coming back into bridge, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips off the block, rolling the hips back down onto the ground, one vertebrae at a time. Hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the knees wider than hip distance apart, bringing the feet up towards the sky, coming into happy baby, taking the hands to the outside edges of the feet. An upside down squat pose. Staying at center, rocking slightly from side to side to massage the low back. Slightly engage the pelvic floor to protect the body. Press the whole back body into the ground and breathe. Exhale, bring the knees back together. Inhale, stretch the feet in, up to the sky, the arms overhead. One last big stretch. Before you bend the knees, bring the feet to the ground. Walk the feet out in front of you. Bring the arms to the side into a snow angel position, coming into Shavasana. We worked a lot through the back today, so if you'd like some blankets or bolster underneath your knees, that might accommodate the low back well. Or if you're having any neck considerations, put a blanket or a pillow underneath the head. Once you're comfortable, release your muscles. Release any tension or grabbing, either physically, mentally, or emotionally. Release any tension from the face, the ears, the throat. Release the weight of the whole body into the ground. If they aren't already, turn the palms upward so that you can accept the love and peace that's available in this moment. When your body feels completely relaxed, release your awareness of your breath. Release your awareness of your thoughts. And just be here in this present moment. When you're ready, bring your attention back to your breath. Feel how the breath supported you, even when you weren't paying attention. And thank your breath for this gift. Gently begin to move through the fingers and toes, waking up the senses of your body. If you'd like, you can hug the knees in towards the chest and then roll onto your right side. Pausing here to transition from this place of oneness to this place of menti interactions and interconnections. When you're ready, press into your left hand, coming up to sit. Once you've returned to your comfortable seated position, close your eyes, bringing your hands to your knees. Thank all your muscles and bones, and organs and senses and neurons for working together to support your body as you move and breathe and think and grow. Know that this interconnectedness is not limited to just ourselves, but how we relate to the people we come in contact with and the world at large. Bring your hands to heart center. Set an intention for how you would like to be connected to the world, whether by projecting an attitude of peace or generosity or compassion to those beings and people and energy that you come in contact with. Hold this intention deep in your heart center. Breathe in, hold, and exhale, release your intention to the world. Thank you for sharing in your practice with me today. Om Shanti.